Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Heroes Hour! We are continuing with our series of fun and occasionally very broken builds. Today, let's give the elves some love over at the Wild faction. Seems appropriate since we just played with some dwarves. Now, there are a couple of heroes in this faction that I really like. Nomi is a personal favorite. You can get a very strong ranged base army with this character, but we're going to try playing around with Hakoni today. Hakoni is a spellcaster that focuses around one particular unit, the Anima. This is a very small, very weak flying will-o'-the-wisp type of unit, but we can make this more respectable with a few early skills. The Mastery skill means we get more anima and make them stronger. The Legion skill just adds on extra health and damage per rank, which is very good when you have a lot of tiny units. This is a very good skill for that specifically. Swarming gives me extra copies of the anima, and Bloodlust means that when some of these units die, and they will, that everyone else gets stronger. So the whole idea is that you are going to swarm your opponent with sheer numbers of very angry little magic balls. So let's try playing on Hardcore Plus and give this one a go. Okay, so here we are. Right off the bat, I'm not seeing much of anything helpful to us. There is a palace down here, which can get me some extra golden recruitment. That's not bad. Not sure I can make much use out of that right now. There's a treasure chest down here. I'm hoping to get some early experience. There are a few things we can pick up in our city which can be kind of fun. The Symbiotic Grove is one of them. We'll get some extra lumber per day, which is nice, but then on top of that, we can turn mines into overgrown mines. I'll get less of the original resource, but more lumber. Sometimes this is really good, and sometimes it's really bad. I don't often make use of it, to be honest, but it can be alright. Alternatively, we go ahead and pick up the Forest Hill and get ourselves some more units. I think I'd rather do that. I don't usually go for the satyrs. The confusion skill is great, but the slow really messes these guys up. Not especially helpful if they can't get into the battle quickly. The pack hunters, on the other hand, are weak, but they attack very rapidly, so they can do a fair bit of damage. The problem is right now we have a lot of glass cannons, and that's only going to do so much for us. Now let's see, looks like we are up against Earthen. Well, that seems appropriate. Elves versus dwarves, a tale as old as time. I'll take that XP, absolutely. That means I can go for the Mastery skill very early on. This is going to give me some free anima per week, about 14 actually per week per rank, which is not bad. Plus we'll get some extra health and damage per rank. So the sooner we pick this up, the more free units we're going to get. They're not very strong free units, obviously, but you know, freebies are freebies, I can't complain. Now let's see, we could go ahead and move to things like the Hall of Elves and get some range units. And considering we have none right now, I think that's going to be the right call. Between these, I like the range because they can launch a lot of arrows very rapidly, but the Hunter is the better choice, because they start off with the Bodyguard's skill. They're going to summon 2 lynxes that are going to help create a front line for them. So this ends up being a very good character for us. We'll take a bunch of these and send them over this direction. I might try to open up the obelisk early. It doesn't look like there are a lot of strong units defending, so I think we could take this. Just to reduce the odds of having any issues, let's go ahead and pick up the infirmary as our next building, so anything we lose has a chance of coming back. Those early game units really do matter. I'm not trying to sound paranoid, but it is kind of important we do that right. And the anima are going to go up here toward the front. We can keep some of these guys over here toward the back. We're gonna lose some units. This is a known thing, and it's not a huge deal. I accept this. Now, we've started with a couple of different spells. This time it looks like I started with Coin Flip, which I don't really like. You flip 6 coins at random places on the battlefield, and if heads, then the units in that area are going to disappear. Yours and theirs. It's a very good spell if you're facing off against an enemy that's much larger than you, because you can temporarily remove a huge chunk of their army and try to win anyway. But I'm not going to rely on that. Fortune can be kind of nice, boosting up luck. This is especially good if you have a lot of range units. Otherwise, I'm not feeling extremely happy about it. So let's get in there with these flying units, try to do as much damage as we can. As you can see, yes, we are losing some anima, a fair bit. They really do not have much health. Like, it's actually kind of pathetic how weak they are. So expect to lose these guys, but that's okay. We freed up the obelisk. And it looks like a bunch of the obelisks are close together again. Wow, I keep getting lucky with this. Okay. Looks like we got 4 anima back out of the 9 that we lost. So, like, seriously, that was almost no losses on my part. Now, one thing you should know is the Life Spark ability is unique to the Archdruids for this faction. Whenever we cast a spell, we heal nearby units and also summon some extra units onto the battlefield. And if the animals survive after combat, we keep them as more anima. So this actually also lends itself surprisingly well to our overall build. I think for one last play here, let's go ahead and grab the Colossus. This is going to give me the Grow Fist, a really powerful tree ant type of unit. Very strong early game front line. That should make sure we are able to tank just about anything. And looking at the treasure, it looks like there's probably a couple of mines, maybe a gold mine, a crystal mine, and so on. I'm guessing it's going to be right up here as the treasure. That looks about right. Let's see, a lost hero. We can get the Bestial Ward. Sure, creature speed and defense is actually great. We'll go ahead and get our units in there a bit faster. 2,500 gold is kind of a lot of gold. Hard to say no to that. There's the camp. But where is this treasure? It should be like right next to me, right? There it is. Hold up. Grab. There it is. We found the treasure. What do we get? Another Tusk set run. We had that last time. This is actually completely fine with me. It's a good, respectable set. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. What do we want next? Let's see, Guild of Mages. I'm probably going to go ahead and grab the Symbiotic Grove now, just for the extra lumber production. That makes it easier for me to afford my hunters going forward. I think other units also require a lot of wood. That's one of the reasons wood is a very important resource for us. I think we can take down 20 of these archers without too much trouble. 20 to 40, I should say. Yeah, we should be able to handle that. We'll just go ahead and have the big guy in the front line, and then the anima follows behind. And this time I think I will go ahead and cast Fortune. Let's just go ahead and boost up, let's say, all of my range units. They have a better chance of some critical strikes. Summon in a few reinforcements, get some healing off, that kind of stuff. There we go. Didn't lose much. Easy enough. Get some XP and level up. Now we go for Legion. All of a sudden, my anima get extra 5 health and damage by 1 per rank. Now, the reason that's good is kind of, we already alluded to this, but let's just confirm. The anima only have like 23 health to start with, right? So getting an extra 5 is something like, kind of like a 20% almost boost. That's better than a lot of different skills you would get that would get you, let's say, another 5 or 10%. Percentages are great when you have high health, high damage units. But when you have very small, tiny ones, and you can fit a lot of them into the battlefield, flat bonuses are almost always going to be better. As far as what we pick up next, I guess the marketplace is a safe choice. Let's see, more knowledge, spell power, or more hunters. Ooh. Normally I actually would say go for the hunters, but because I'm going to be able to cast a lot of spells to summon more animals that become anima, might be better, believe it or not, to go for things like knowledge or spell power. I think I'm going to go for more knowledge because this means more mana, which means that I can cast more spells per day. I do not know if that was the right call, but at the end of the day, if that decision is all it takes for me to win or lose the game, then I was already in really bad shape. Let's try to clear out the sawmill. I think we can take this now. And again, let's go ahead and cast some Fortune, particularly on all of our range units, like so. There we go. We get a little bit of healing out. Losing a lot more anima, starting to lose some of the forest spirits. Now, these are the upgraded versions of the anima. When they die, they become anima. So they come back as a weakened version of themselves, which, again, kind of works for what I'm doing. And this is the end of this area. Okay. We have a druidic shrine down here. More forest spirits. Oh, that could be kind of good for me. Do I think I can take this right now? I don't know about that one. This might be a bit too hard of a fight, depending on how many druids are there. We're going to come back here, though, because that also works really well with what I'm trying to do. And over here, we have a dwarven treasury. Get mountain guards. Okay, that's not too bad. And then up here, we can get some corpse eater spiders. Plus, a harpy nest. Furies come to fight for me. So we've got a lot of buildings in my starting zone that can create units for me. If I were a little bit stronger, I would love to go take these, because that just gets me a lot more to play with. Now, here's a really interesting building that the Wild have access to. The Grizzly Den. Creates grizzly bears. They will join my garrison over time. The more anima and forest spirits are sitting around in the town, the more grizzlies we're going to get. Now, in theory, I'm going to have a ton of anima sitting around. The problem is I don't really like leaving them sitting around in my town. I want them to actually be helpful to me. But at some point, once we leave the starting zone, we're just going to start creating a ton of these things. So this is going to be a very, very good building for me eventually. The question is if I want it now. And the answer is probably not. What I really want are the stone cairns to get some druids, and we'll go ahead and hire these guys up immediately before the turn of the new week so that I can refresh and get 2 more of them. They're good range units that can also summon, guess what? Anima. Now, what comes next? I think we're probably going to go ahead and grab the Beastmasters with the upgraded Hall of Elves. These guys are really good. Not only do you now have bodyguards, but when enemy beasts are about to die, we will convert them to an ally. So it's a way of actually taming some extra units for myself. I don't know if I'm going to be fighting a lot more beasts from here on out, but it is worth a shot. And now let's go ahead and clear out my ore mine. This is usually one of the easier fights you can take toward the beginning of the game, and you should. Once again, losing some anima, losing some forest spirits, this is going to happen. There's no way around it. They are tiny, weak units. Tiny, weak units are always going to die. But we're not losing anything expensive or valuable, which I consider to be even better. Let's get an upgrade for the life sparks, so now we can get even better healing and more summoning if we cast a spell, and that's going to lead to better upgrades for the Legion and so on. Now, do we want to upgrade the ore quarry? I say upgrade, I mean overgrow. Basically, instead of getting stone per day, we get wood per day, and then 10 ore each week. No, probably not. I think we need to keep the stone. You can come back here with a wild hero later and try to overgrow it, so this isn't a permanent decision. It's just not something I need to do right now. I think my next big goal is actually going to be making a beeline for the palace. This will be pretty tightly defended, but I do want to get it very early on. The extra gold, the extra units per week, and so on, it's not a bad thing to have on hand. Not a bad idea at all. So, let's go ahead and attack over here. We're going to take on the palace. Of course, the big guy toward the front, the expendable guys over here, and plenty of druids and stuff are now on my side. This is going to make my life a lot easier. Go ahead and cast some fortune as usual. We're creating like some little boars and stuff like that. I guess that's kind of helpful. Didn't lose much for that one, actually. We gained units, and we killed down 82 power. Well, that wasn't a bad trade at all. That was great. Let's see if we can do that again with this time a bunch of undead units. Quickly, boost up all of my range things. Now, do we go for more mastery or do we go for more legion? Or swarming or bloodlust? Any of these are good. I'm actually going to go for another rank in Mastery to start, because this means more anima, and the more units you have overall, the better, but I do want to rank these guys up soon. Jar of Pandora, learn Comet Rain, ooh. This is a very risky spell, because it's great at dealing massive amounts of damage over almost an entire battle, but it also can hit your own units, so if you don't place it well, you do massive damage to yourself. I think I'll take it just in case, but I hope never to use it. And then beyond that, let's go ahead and buy a couple of crystal, get the Guild of Mages. That way, when I go back home, we can get ourselves the Town Portal Scroll. And actually, now might be a good time to go ahead and kill the neutral hero. Is that a good idea? Would that be stupid? I think it's gonna be a good idea, sure. And off we go. All right, let's see if this works. Once again, let's go ahead and cast some Fortune on the front line here. Just get a bit of extra healing. Though I do have a ranged hero, so we're healing mostly in the back line, which doesn't help me that much. Still, I'd say this fight looks like it's going very well. We've lost only a couple of anima, and, we've gained pack hunters, because we're taming them as beasts. Oh, right! Yes, that makes perfect sense. We gained power out of the arrangement. Thank you! All right, let's go ahead and pick up... Ooh, more Legion, Bloodlust. All of them are good, is the thing. I'm gonna take... probably the Swarming to get some free extra units. The Compass is gonna get me the Scouting skill. Now, I do like that, because scouting means that I actually do see a bit further on the map, and also I get some free movement after combat. Very good when you're trying to clear out a big area quickly. So we're going to go ahead and pop back into home so we can get some upgrades for some units. What else do I want here? We could pick up some more guys here now with the pastures. The deer are okay, because when they die, guess what we get? Even more anima. So I think I might want to do that. For that, though, I'm going to need to buy myself some crystals. Let's get 3, pick you up, get the deer, max that out, there we go. And they have charge as well, which makes them kind of okay as sort of like some cheap cavalry units. For spells, I got Mundanity, we got Corpse Explosion, and we got Healing Aura. That's not bad. Corpse Explosion, I assume, works on the anima corpses, if they even have corpses. This could actually be a really good spell for me. Well, let's try to get as many of these buildings that spawn units on my side as we can before the end of the week. Let's move up to the Harpy Nests next. Break through the walls. We're only losing a couple anima out of the arrangements. Cheap, easy, no big deal. This is Hardcore Plus, by the way, for those who forget. So, the fact that I'm killing this many units and losing only 4 power, it feels like this build's already working. Oh, green is already here. That is the Earthen. Okay, not what I wanted to see. That's a little early, but the Earthen are a pretty good rushing faction. Oh, and it's Gunver, my favorite! Yeah, all right. He's got a lot of really small units of his own. He's got 32 crystalthemums? No, you did not really invest heavily into the crystal assembly skill, did you? That means you didn't get any dragons. You'd be an idiot. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get things to the Dwarven Treasury. Again, I don't expect to lose much here, if anything at all. The reason I'm fighting right now is I'm trying to get a little bit more XP. I'd love to get one more trait before we go into this fight. That did not work. We could go to the Druidic Shrine. He can't reach my city in one turn. But if I go this way, he's either going to have to come after me, or he's going to get past me and I can't run to my city in time to defend it. Might be better to go fight these animals down here, tame a bunch of them, and hope to get enough XP to level up. I think that's definitely the right call, actually. I don't know why I'm second-guessing myself. That's 100% what we should do. Let's make sure we definitely have the Beastmasters, though, because I do want to tame these guys. Okay, we gained a few units. Still lost more anima than I was expecting out of the arrangement, but okay. We get male Greaves. Well, that's not what I was hoping for. I kind of wanted to level up. All right, no luck there. Best thing to do is try to move up and head them off, I guess? I'm feeling a little nervous now. Let's go ahead and grab the fort so we have some extra defense. And normally I'd say go for extra Beastmasters, but this time I'm actually going to go for more anima so we can spawn a lot more per week. That way, even if I'm not using them, I can pair them up with the Grizzly Den to get more units. So let's see what Earthen does. They did get the Dragon King ability, by the way. Okay. And they're attacking my lumber mill. That's interesting. I could sit back and let them throw themselves against the walls. And I'm going to go on defend. I'm going to let them take damage from my rangers, then we're going to attack them. Hopefully he doesn't have any really good spells, but I imagine he should take a few losses before he gets very far in here. Let's watch for the walls to go down, and then we're going to swarm him. Ready, and go. All right, we've got a pretty good number of units. This is a pretty strong garrison all in all. It's not amazing, but it should weaken him. I feel pretty good about this. Of course, without my Legion buffs, the small units are extremely weak, but he had to go through a whole round of reinforcements there for a garrison fight. Oh, but he got a dragon. Frick me. Okay, that changes the equation just a little bit, but we can't really afford to let him sit around. So we have to go fight him. Here goes nothing. Let's hope that this is going to work out well. Actually, heck, I wonder. Does a dragon count as a beast? Can I steal the dragon? That would be hilarious. He just devoured a bunch of his units. Okay. I'm going to do something risky, and I'm going to go ahead and cast the Comet Blast in the back line. Let's do a bunch of damage back here. Hopefully that ends up being okay. We'll also toss down a healing aura on our front line, try to save a few units where we can. Well, I'm going to go ahead and keep casting spells, because what this does is it gets me some extra units in the form of animals. And also, as long as the animals survive, I get more anima. So this is my best chance of trying to rebound. We'll just do a bunch of very cheap fortune spells and pray that we're getting some nice, like, good accurate strikes or something. Critical hits. That's the word I'm looking for. We've cleared out almost his entire army. It's really just the dragon that remains. The problem is the dragon's fire breath is phenomenal at doing a lot of damage to my very weak units. So this is going to hurt. We haven't lost our own big tree ant yet, though. We've lost a few other little guys, but I think we're fine. We win. Okay. We lost 162 power. That is a lot. Most of my units died. But we killed Earthen's army and got 8,500 experience out of the arrangement. Let's go ahead and get another level in Legion and also Bloodlust so that when my units die in the future, they make everyone else angry. You know, I think it's very appropriate that we're going up against our exact build from last time. Kind of goes to show that the Devour skill, though, it's good, but it's not game-changing at the beginning of the game. It's only in the late game that it absolutely destroys you. But I stopped him from eating his first dragon, so he's never going to grow up into a big boy. We'll grab the Palace of the Wild for some extra gold income. I do want to get that Lieutenant Hall. This is not a bad thing at all for me. Elemental Gate, get elementals every day once we've paid some resources to tune it. This is not bad, actually. Not sure it's what I want. However, it works really well if you have a lot of overgrown mines. So if you did decide to go down this route a lot, this becomes very powerful. Now, I know there's more to clear out in our starting area, but I think now is actually a good time to try to break out. I want to start exploring the neutral territory before the dwarves can get all of their units back together and start plundering the region. Now we can level up again. Let's go ahead and get another level of swarming, just for freebies. Now I'm going to take something kind of weird. I'm going to go ahead and grab this gold-trimmed cape I just found. This gets me the oligarchy skill. I'm able to field less units, but they're a lot stronger. I'm not sure how well this actually works when you have a bunch of cheap units. It might actually be pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab that lieutenant hall and recruit a lieutenant. Now, the weird thing about a lieutenant is that you cannot actually kind of choose their units. They have their own starting army, and that is it. You can't delete the units, you can't transfer them around. They are what they are. But that means they are very good at just clearing out anything you might have left behind. So these guys up here, for example, we can go ahead and clear out our crystal mine. Lieutenants also can regenerate their own units. So it actually means that they're like a fully self-sustained force. Now, I want to go and attack green, but I don't think I'm strong enough right now. I've kind of lost too many other units. So we're going to have to just kind of scavenge for a bit and get some reinforcements. Then we'll worry about taking the fight to them. By then, they'll have a reasonable army once again. In fact, I already see him. He is back, and yeah, he does have a handful of units. A lot of rock elementals. Doesn't surprise me, we killed many a dwarf. Took a few too many losses in this particular fight. Lost 85 power. Ouch. That was costly, but okay. Let's go ahead and grab another level of Life Spark. I did that to get to the Fountain of Youth to train up a skill. Get another rank in Bloodlust. I mean, yeah, but losing this much movement could end up coming back to bite me. We'll give it a go, though. We'll treat it like a free level up. Fortunately, green is not coming back for me. Okay, so we don't have to worry about them right now. That's the wise choice on their part. By the way, does this look suspiciously like a crashed spaceship to anyone else? Because it sure as heck looks like one to me. Oh, green's back and he's running from blue. Oh, God. Yeah, I see why. Pyre has a lot. Well, with that known, I actually think we go ahead and town portal back home, rather than run around in an area that's going to get me killed. Let's pick up all of the units I can. Do we want to get any upgrades? Let's get the upgraded Forest Hill. That way we can upgrade all of our wolves. So now they're a little bit more effective. Whenever creatures die nearby, they get larger and do more damage. Now I've at least got a somewhat respectable army. It's not huge, it's not as big as I want it to be, but it is acceptable. Honestly, I think I might prefer to have the knowledge and spell power instead of the oligarchy skill. I think that might be the right call. Well, I'm going to let blue and green kill each other, and then I'll pick whoever's weaker when that fight does resume. I think it makes sense to go ahead and grab the Empire of the Wild. This will pay for itself in 4 days. Probably a hospital shortly after that in case we lose more units. Economically, we're doing shockingly well right now. Oh, and here comes green. And they're making a beeline for my city. Crud. And this is shortly after I've already used the town portal scroll. It is the start of a new week, so I can get more units, but this is gonna be tough. Well, let's try to chase him down before he causes too much damage. Let's go ahead and get a citadel for some extra defenses. We don't get more anima this time. I think I will take more Beastmasters, and let's create as many units as I can. That's gonna have to be good enough as a defensive army, huh? Alright, it probably won't be enough. Oh, they're turning around to come fight me. Even better. Alright, let's see what 76 anima is able to do with a whole mess of lynxes. Not as much as you would like, but the Bloodlust is really going to start stacking up. We'll set up a healing aura over here just to kind of give myself a bit more. He devoured some of his units, including, I think, his dragon. He did devour his dragon. That means his hero's going to be strong, for sure. But it also means he just made it so he'll almost certainly lose this fight. Let's do a quick corpse explosion, let's say right here. Boom! Once again, we're going to take some pretty heavy losses, especially in the anima department, but we win. And green has actually now been removed from the game. Okay, that probably means that blue is on its way to me. That's less exciting for me, but okay. I'm tempted to say we want to go for a level of summoning, just because summoning spells are so good for us. Maybe, but I'm actually instead going to take 2 levels in Midas Touch, just because whatever anima I've got might be able to counter at least a few things. I've opened up this prison, which gets me a new hero, Marco, who has estates level 2. Well, that's nice. We'll get a bit of extra gold per day. He's got a few other decent skills here, too. Combat, engineering, blood warping, recalcitrance. Yeah, this character actually could have been pretty good if we had gotten him very early on. Let's go ahead and buy that elemental gate just so I can show you how that works. You would tune it to a particular element, all right? So that could be the fire, the waveborn, the rock pummelers, cyclones, etc. And then it's just going to get you some of that unit for free. I guess I don't mind getting, let's say, the Spirited Fire. That could be kind of fun. All right, so now we'll just start getting those every day. Now, I personally think blue's coming after me. Yes, they are. So I don't have a lot of confidence that I'm going to be able to hold them off. I might even immediately lose the new hero I just got. I think that's very likely. And of course, it figures I'm going up against another Devour hero. 2 Devour heroes, man. Yeah, that's a really rough game for me. Oh, and Purple's here now to kill my lieutenant. Honestly, I kind of expected Purple wouldn't have much since Blue left them alone. You know, I wonder, actually, if maybe Purple killed Blue and Blue was running away, and that's why they killed Green to get themselves one last-ditch city. That could also be. Maybe Purple's the real threat. Well, let's get ourselves a hospital, because I think we're about to have a lot of pain. I'm going to take on 2 very big fights in close succession. This will be difficult for me to survive. Okay, she's using coin flip to delete huge chunks of my army. That is very annoying. That's the spell that we've got. Now, that doesn't kill my units. It just temporarily removes them from the battlefield. And it also removed a big chunk of her army. So I think at the end of the day, she actually took much larger losses than I did. Yeah, so even though we didn't kill all of her army, technically speaking, we won that and didn't lose much in the process. But hey, I'll take that 11,000 XP. Thank you. That was great. And Purple is running away. Oh, but they got another hero also with a lot of... Okay. Yeah, Purple's got 2 pretty big armies. I'll be honest, I'm not feeling very good about this right now. We'll just go ahead and skip to the outcome here. I think that's fine. We need to go take another city. We need to do it, like, right away. So I'm going to start heading up this direction and see if we can find what was Green's city, which I imagine will be up this direction. If we can, awesome. If not, I think Purple's going to outscale beyond us very quickly. Well, I will get myself another lieutenant. Oh, some more stuff just spawned over here. It's not bad, but I think we need more help up over this direction, partly for defense and partly to keep clearing more of this area out. So here comes Purple. Where's that city? Where is it? Is it up here? There it is. Ah, we barely can't reach it. Really? So where's Purple going? They're going directly for my main city. All right, this lieutenant is probably going to die. All we're doing is trying to inflict casualties here. We'll summon a whole bunch of animals onto their back line, try to do some damage there. I'll do Dizzy Tune, which can confuse enemies. Hopefully make them fight each other. No, not an especially good fight. They lost almost nothing out of this arrangement. Oh, boy. Okay, so the real question is, can they reach my city in one turn? They might. It depends on if they have any additional skills that would help them with that. It's really close. If they don't, I do not want to teleport back here right now, because what they'll do is just turn around, and they'll go over here, and then I have to chase them down. This is kind of a gamble. Well, we're definitely going to be taking the Earthen City. This is a known fact. Did that pretty easily. Okay, let's get another level of... well, we need level 15 for these. We can get one more level in something else, maybe another level of swarming. I think I'm going to take the risk. What I will do, though, is buy myself one more lieutenant. I know we just keep losing them, but let's do it. They're relatively cheap. And we'll just keep this guy in a position next to my city. I might even go ahead and camp, which gives me extra defense. Now, I can't move, but all I want to do is defend the city for now, so that's fine. Oh, Empire's not dead. They're back. They're running from Purple, but there we go. All right, these guys are on the way. They didn't reach. Perfect. So now I can go ahead and teleport back home, and I know that I'll be able to intercept and kill these guys with my main hero. That's perfect. Let's take all the units I can, of which I have a many, and let's go fight. Now, I expect this still to be a very difficult fight, because obviously we do have kind of a lot of very weak units. Something I could do is summon some horrors in their back line, which is risky, because you don't normally want to do that. But it distracts their range units with some very good summoned units of my own, so I'll do it anyway. And even though we are taking quite a lot of losses here, it looks like this is easily going to be enough to finish off this hero. Thank you! Yeah, we lost 18 power and killed off 496. Not bad. Purple still has one really big army hanging around over here. Gonna have to deal with that. Can we deal with it now? The answer appears to be yes. Here we go. Alright, pretty hefty number of units back here. Let's apply some fortune onto all of the range units as much as we can, get them that critical strike. And we need to do, once again, a summon, I think, in the back line with the horrors. That should distract them. Got another spell here called Conflux, which would allow us to bridge the elemental realm and summon elementals to fight for the rest of battle. This might be the time to do that, because this is going to be the big fight. So let's go ahead and place this here somewhere. And apparently elementals are coming. I don't see them, but they should be here. It's got a 1-week cooldown. I hope it's powerful. He's going through reinforcements pretty quickly. Fortunately, summoning 3 or 4 horrors with this spell is a pretty huge benefit. We already know how powerful these things can become once they're stacked. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a Devour hero, so they're not that strong, but we're taking pretty minor losses comparatively, and they're going to lose everything. Yeah, there we go. We lost 50 power and killed almost 1,000. Beautiful. Let's see if we can start making a push against blue. Now's the time to try to go for the kill here, I think. They're still alive somewhere, doing their thing, and I don't like it. I don't know if we're close enough to blue to get to them this turn. Actually, it looks like we are. Okay, perfect. They've got 1 big army remaining. Here we go. And let's go ahead and toss a Comet Rain in the back over here to do some big damage while we try to break through the walls, followed by some horrors in the back. And I think we'll win this one without too much trouble. Big thing is, again, I really need more mana. But all right, we didn't lose much here. Killed 480 power. We get a level up. Let's go ahead and get another rank in Mastery, and then just take the city. Which you'd think is what we'd already done, but you would be wrong. And now blue has been removed from the game. Thanking you. Man, he did not invest much in his Hellgate. That's why you lost, fool. Oh, and now purple's after me. Okay. Probably gonna lose, what, my 3rd lieutenant of the game? Yeah, they don't last long, do they? Yeah, that was a bit of a wipe. Wow, okay. Gosh, Order's coming around with another hero over here. You've still got 2 good heroes. Where are you getting this many units? For real, you have so many units for somebody who's been dying repeatedly at my hands. Seriously, guys, it's uncanny. Anyway, enjoy the horrors in your back line. Not really gonna lose much here, because this week everybody has a ton of bloodsuckers, these little bats and stuff that are running around. That's able to absorb almost all of the hits, so we actually gained units out of this fight, didn't lose a single unit of my own, and they lost 556 power. There you go. The thing is, I feel like increasingly this build is showing that the anima themselves aren't doing all the heavy lifting. It's just all the other skills are pretty good. As long as you have lots of tiny units, which we do besides just the anima, we're doing pretty good for ourselves. Oh, there's the Order City. Oh, you've got a lot of defenders. I don't know how they're getting this many units. I really don't. I'm actually flabbergasted they have this many units. It does not make a lot of sense to me. If I had more mana, I could go and attack this, but I don't, so I don't think I can. There's another hero over here with even more. How? How do you have this much? I am so shocked. All right, well, if I had more mana, I could take this on, but I honestly don't even think this army is that strong. It can't handle that. It's not strong enough. Oy vey. All right, let's just clean this stuff up and then send some more reinforcements. And they're not willing to make any pushes, actually, because they know I'm right here, so they're kind of scared. Well, I'll go pick off your little tiny hero, if you don't mind. And honestly, with the addition of the Pyre Gateway that I've now upgraded a couple of times, this should be pretty easy for me now. I think people underestimate how powerful the Hellgate is. It is easily one of the best abilities in the game if the Pyre invests in it. It can win entire huge fights on its own. Pyre is ridiculously good. And now they're going to come and attack me. Which again, that works just fine for me. In fact, I'm actually going to sit back here a little bit, let the Hellgate do its thing, go on defensive mode, wait for him to take a bunch of losses, and then we'll get in there. Actually, what I really need to do is disrupt the back line a bit. Yeah, some elemental rocks will do that job pretty well. And we'll just go ahead and cast a few elemental horrors toward the back line. And is this the big fight of this game? I think it might be. Let's go ahead and use Conflux as well. I want a bunch of free elementals. All right, so he should be taking a lot of damage now. The demons are really stacking up in the middle. They're absorbing tons of hits, doing tons of damage. The horrors are doing their job, and I've got a lot of range units. The thing that's wrong with this build, right, is I'm only good at buffing up a bunch of tiny little guys. Legion's only so good at some point, right? You really want to have, like, the archery skill and the luck skill together. Then all of a sudden, this range build will be shredding him. But that's not what I've got right now. The good news is, though, he's so far on his back line with so much bloodlust on my side, he's just going to spawn into instant death now. So this is going to destroy him. Even so, I still took a fair number of losses out of this fight, though. That was still not phenomenal for me. Aw, come on, show me how much I actually killed. Whatever, alright. We'll go for another level of swarming, that's fine. Grab some gloves and stuff, and then I think we just go ahead and try to end the game. He shouldn't have a lot left now. In fact, I'll go ahead and tell all of my forest spirits just go ahead and fly over the walls and start killing them. And once again, let's try to distract their range units as much as we can. That's part of the problem. He's got really good range units. The strategy is kind of working right now, though. He's getting swarmed with so many little guys right now that even though you'd think these forest spirits are extremely weak, and we have lost over 100 of them, we're still hitting him hard. I mean, we've almost wiped out his entire army, and we haven't even been able to break through the walls yet. That's all the units on his side. So the build works, but it's not the best build. It's just kind of a fun one. It's actually a perfect example of why I don't especially love Legion builds. I know some people think they are the absolute best, but this is Legion, Swarming, Bloodlust. It's everything you could want, but it's just not the best thing in the world. At the end of the day, I'll pretty much always prefer to have something, you know, that's like, I don't know, Hegemony and Blood Warping and Champion. It's just better. Anyway, for God's sake, where is your last hero, and why are you hiding from me, you coward? Oh, he's just got like a tiny little city over here. Oh, sure, whatever. And now we win. Okay. Yeah, purple really gave me a run for my money, and I'm really not sure why they had so many units. I'm guessing one of their heroes must have had like the recruitment skill or something. It was greatly increasing how much a single city could put out, because they had a ton to work with. Nonetheless, we did win, and it is a fairly strong build, right? As long as you stay laser-focused on making your small units as powerful as possible, you can win a lot of fights and punch above your weight. However, it's certainly not my favorite build or the most powerful build I've ever come up with. It's just pretty good, and at least it showcases one strategy you can employ in the game. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.